All right, hello everyone, this is Mr. Vosters. Today I'm going to be showing you how to create a dimensioned multi-view drawing in OnShape. So we're going to practice those dimensioning skills we've been reviewing, and I'll start with some basic shapes and then I'll dimension a little bit more complex shape at the end of the video. So here you can see we're kind of picking up where we did in 1-2-2 with our simple blocks. We've got our rectangle block, our cylinder block, our triangle block, our half circle block, and our arch block. So we're just going to dimension a few of these. I'll show you kind of the steps you need to follow and then give you some reminders of some of our dimensioning rules that we reviewed in class. So let's start with our rectangle block. We're going to start by making a multi-view drawing of that. So let's do that right now. So over here in our toolbar, we can right click part 1, go to create drawing of part 1, and then let's do, since this is a very simple shape, I'm going to trust that OnShape will do it correctly if I do the 4 views template. So we'll click OK. It'll take a second, and then we have our 4 views. We've got our top view up here, our front view, and our right view of our block. In the past, I didn't have you guys dimension these because we hadn't really learned how to properly dimension a shape yet. So don't get this confused with, in our sketch, we added dimensions. So this is different. So this was just our, basically a top view, and notice when we did our extrusion, it's no longer visible. So we don't want to rely on those dimensions for the user. We want to do those in our part drawing with the multiple views. So we have to kind of do those again, not just use the sketch once. So we're going to use the dimension tool up here. You can click on it or you can hit the key D on your keyboard. So if you hit D, it'll automatically select the dimensioning tool. There's multiple options for dimensioning. We'll get to those in a bit and maybe in a later video. But the basic dimensioning one should do the trick for a lot of the stuff we're doing in this video. If you're ever trying to dimension something, it's not doing what you want something more specific like a radius dimension, a radial dimension, or a diameter dimension, you can select those from the drop down. So I'm just going to use the basic dimensioning tool, and that's going to work for this for the stuff we're doing in this video. So when you're dimensioning an object, you want to start by dimensioning the width, the height, and the depth of the object. And since here we just have a rectangle, we're going to be just fine doing those basic dimensions. Nothing else we really need to add. There's no other features. So I'll start by doing my height. Remember our dimensioning rules. We want to have this dimension centered. Notice how OnShape will kind of snap that to the center as I get close. If I get outside of it, it's going to want to place it outside. We have plenty of space here, so I'm going to put it in the middle. You don't want it way out here. We're going to put it nice and close to our object. Notice that we get 3 decimal places. If you do not want that many decimal places, you can either click here to sort of customize. You'll have to get out of your dimension tool to do this. So you'll hit escape, and then you can click over here. You can update this one to get different precision. So if I only want 1 decimal place, I can select that. If you want to update all of your dimensions, all the precision for your dimensions, you can go over to drawing properties, and then here if you select a different precision, it should update. Sorry, you want to select the different tolerance precision. No, that's not right. Hang on. I wonder if it's because I already updated the precision over here. If I just do, hold on, let me undo a few things and just start from scratch. So if I do, let's say 1 decimal place for my regular precision, close that little menu. Let's say I dimension it now. Hopefully we will see it just have 1 decimal, and it does. So I think it was because I had already manually updated the precision on it. So it won't override something you've already manually set. At least that's my theory. So we've got our height. Now we can do our width. So this one's automatically gonna put the arrows outside so it's not super crowded there. You can either put the number outside if you think it's kind of crowded here. I think it's fine inside, so I'll just click and place it there. And then our depth, we can either do up here from top to bottom, or we can show it on our right view from left to right, which is what I'm going to do. So notice here, I did a little bit differently than before where I didn't click on the line. You can do that. You can also click from point to create a dimension. I'm going to put this one outside of our block, or outside of our extension lines, so that it's not super crowded in there. So that looks good. And if you remember from class, we talked about if we have a view that has no dimensions, we can delete that. So this top view has no dimensions. We do not need it. So we're going to delete it. So I just clicked on it and hit the delete key to get rid of it. So that is our fully dimensioned rectangular block created right here. Let's jump to our arch block. That one's going to be a little bit more complicated. So we're going to create a multi-view drawing. We'll go over to part 1, right click, and then create a drawing of part 1. So let's try making the 4 views template. We'll see if it works out for us. Looks pretty good. All right, so we've got 2 features now. We have our block, which is the total outline dimensions, the overall dimensions, the height, the width, and the depth of the block, and then we've got the arch. So this kind of cutout arch, that's also going to be considered a feature. So we need to have location and size of that as well. So let's start by doing our, like, the overall block. So we're going to start with the height of that block. Whoop, lights went out on me. So the height of this is going to be 1. The width is going to be 2. Remember, you want to get that kind of in the middle. And the depth, let's show that on our right view. That's going to be 1 as well. You can kind of line it up with this one if you want to be a little fancy. I'll put it outside just because with our 3 decimal places, it's a little crowded in there. All right, now for our arch feature, our semicircle cutout. So the location of it is going to be aligned with, obviously, the bottom edge. So I don't want to create a dimension from here to itself. There's going to be a dimension of 0 there. So to our center, it's going to just be aligned. But from the corner to the center of our circle, we are going to have some distance. It looks like it's 1 inch. So you can go from, remember, you want to go to the center of a circle when you're doing dimensions. Okay, the other dimension we're going to see for our circle is the size. So remember, when you have a full circle, you use diameter. When you have an arc or a semicircle, you'll want to use a radial dimension. With this base dimension tool selected, OnShape is smart enough here to figure out we have a semicircle, so let's use the radial dimension automatically. I didn't even have to select it. So if you wanted to force a radial dimension, you can do that with the drop down. But if we just use our D key or our base dimension, we can click that semicircle and we can place that on the outside of our block. So let's update our precision. We're only going to do 1 decimal place, and that should do the trick. Notice how these all updated. I'm actually going to move this back inside since it looks like we do have enough room now. One thing we're missing here is center lines. So let's see if we can go ahead and add those. So we want an edge to edge center line. Let's see if that does it. Nope. Oh, center mark. So we just want to add a center mark there. And we can hit the green check to save that. All right, I think we're done. So this one is fully dimensioned. I lied, we're not done. We can actually delete this top view because, again, we did not end up using it. And I forgot something else. We also have a hidden line. So we have a hidden line showing this edge on our right view. So we want to right click, show, hide, show hidden lines to make sure that that is showing. So that's going to be equal to this dimension from here to here. We don't want to show that because we don't dimension to hidden lines if we can avoid it. That's just going to be our radius. So using this dimension does give us this information, so we don't want to duplicate, and again, we don't want to dimension to hidden lines. So that's going to be it for this video. Please make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel if you have not already. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next video.